Hey Nick, it's David with Artisan Revere. I just want to say thank you very much for the order. My team and I appreciate it. I'm doing this video for you, not with your knife. Unfortunately, I've already shipped it out, but fear not, I've already done the full QC inspection on your knife. So I'm going to show you our QC on one of our tester knives that we keep at our offices. And then I'm going to also tell you about our 8 steps to making sure your knives last forever. So number 1, use your knife on food and only food. This I'm sure is fairly obvious. Don't use it on packaging, etc. Ideally, you don't want to be breaking down frozen foods with this or splitting apart, like let's say burger patties that are frozen. I'll let those defrost a little bit, ideally. Number 2, wash and dry your knife immediately after use. So if you leave the knife in a solution that's fairly salty or in a solution that's fairly acidic, you're going to potentially start to see a little bit of patina. So there's different levels of stainlessness. Essentially, it's based on the amount of free chromium in the blade. This is a performance knife. It will fight off any patination, but only up until a certain amount of time, and then the patina can start to, the acid or saltiness can start to attack it. So my suggestion is, really within 30 minutes, but ideally right away, you should wash and dry this knife. Don't leave it out in the sink. Don't leave it, with lemon juice on the blade or anything like that. So wash and dry immediately. Number 3, food grade mineral oil. All high-end knives could benefit from a little bit of food grade mineral oil every so often. You put a little bit on the blade, a little bit on the handle. It'll keep the moisture in the handle. It'll create a protective barrier for the steel. Food grade mineral oil is also great for wooden blocks. It's great for any other stainless and also non-stainless steel product as well. So a little bit of food grade mineral oil every so often, super helpful. You can get this for like $3 at Target, a few dollars more on Amazon. Personally, I like the spray bottle, so I would probably get a spray bottle on Amazon. It should be like 10 or 12 bucks. Cutting boards. 3 kinds of cutting boards that we recommend. 2 that are fairly easy to acquire, 1 that's a little less so. Wood, plastic, synthetic rubber. Wood and plastic are the 2 that we generally recommend. So wooden boards, there are 3 really great woods to use: walnut, cherry, and maple. Maple is a little bit higher on the Janka hardness scale. So that means your knives are going to go dull a little bit faster, but the boards are a little bit cheaper. So it's a little bit of a give and take. As long as you're maintaining your knife well, which I'll get into in just a second, it should be totally fine to use maple. You want to use wooden boards for everything other than animal proteins. And then plastic boards are great for animal proteins, obviously, because you can wash them in the dishwasher. Number 5, bench scrapers. So this is just a prototype knife. As you're cutting, a lot of professional cooks and home cooks as well will do their cuts and then scrape with the blade, with the edge of the blade, into their hand, and then scoop it and put it into their bowl, assuming they're following some sort of mise en place. And we recommend, if you want to use the blade, we recommend flipping the blade and then scraping and scooping with the spine of the blade instead of the edge of the blade. The reason for that is, again, you're going to potentially cause significant damage to the edge. The alternative is to purchase a bench scraper. So, you're finished up cutting, you scrape, you scoop, and you place it into the bowl or into the pot or whatever it is. Okay, great. So that's bench scrapers. Blades should never go. Number 6. Blades should never go into the dishwasher. This is, I'm sure you know this. So I apologize. I'm not sure if you're a professional cook or a home cook. There's a lot of reasons. Number 1, it'll remove all the moisture from the handle. Number 2, it has a potential to really bang up the cutting edge of the blade. We're talking about something that's almost 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's scorching hot, and it's getting all these really, really powerful detergents all over it. It's a really, really suboptimal way to wash your knife. So as mentioned, wash and dry by hand. And after you're done washing and drying, it's always a good idea to throw a little bit of food grade mineral oil on the blade. Okay, great. Number 7, storage. So we recommend 2 different ways of storage. So let's pretend this bench scraper is a magnet. So we like to do magnetic storage. So that is the absolute optimal way to do it. You have to, prior to putting it on a magnet, make sure the knife is clean and dry, super dry, very important. You put the knife spine first onto the magnet, and then you rotate it onto the magnet so that the edge never touches, but so that the side of the blade is on it. When you're gonna remove it, you rotate it so the edge side is up, and you remove it this way. Again, you never wanna have edge contact with a magnet. There are good ones made out of wood, bamboo, etc. The easier way, we've tried to solve for this, is to use a leather sheath. There's all sorts of sheaths, there's plastic, there's wood, there's all sorts of stuff. We think leather is the best for a few reasons. Number one, really the main reason is it's much, much softer on your edge. So you're literally pushing your edge up against a piece of leather, which is super soft, and is not gonna do any damage to your edge. So we really like this method. Again, make sure your knife is completely bone dry and clean prior to storage in here. The reason is leather retains moisture, and moisture is the enemy of steel, which, by the way, is one of the reasons why after you're done washing and drying, you should apply a little bit of food grade mineral oil, again, because it prevents any moisture from attacking the blade. Awesome. Number 8, honing. So there's a lot of different ways to hone a knife. A lot of cooking schools teach it this way. This is fine. Some go like this. This is also okay. The French technique is sort of the reverse, going this way. I'm okay with this technique. The first two I don't love, and then the fourth one, this is what we typically recommend, is putting the ceramic rod into a cutting board. This is the least dangerous method, and it also helps you maintain angle control. Those are our 8 steps to making sure your knife lasts forever. Obviously, when your knife can no longer easily slice through a tomato skin or a pepper skin, it's time to sharpen it. Honing, if you're a professional cook, once a day. If you're a home cook, once a week. Just pick a day. It takes 30 seconds to do, 5 times per side, 10 times per side. That's all you really need for, if you're cooking at home, months and months and months of really, really robust sharpness. Step number 8.5, it's a whole nother video, is sharpening. We have a product called the WorkSharp. It's a really superior product. We've come up with our own recipe for how to properly sharpen our knives and other high-end knives. It's a little bit different than the one that WorkSharp promotes, but we think that's a superb electronic sharpening tool. Alternatively, and this is what I usually do, is I sharpen on stones. I can pull some out actually. Well, they're all sort of in their packaging right now, but basically what you do with a stone is you're gonna move the blade back and forth on one side and then back and forth on the other side, and you're gonna be removing metal that way. So now let's just show you the quality control inspection that I undertake. So I did this again, I did this for your knife. Unfortunately, your knife is already on its way to you, so I'm gonna show you on a prototype blade. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the pins. These are the 4 pins, and make sure that they're completely flush with the handle. They are, that's great. I'm gonna check the epoxy between the Richlite scale, the G10 Garolite that's right in between it and the blade, to make sure there's no leakage, there isn't any. I'm gonna feel the handle, make sure it's nice and smooth. Prior to shipping, I re-oil every blade. Re-oil the handles and re-oil the blade as well. I like to check for a little bit of tip flex. So you can see that right there in the video, hopefully. Great. We round the spine of every blade. So for professional cooks, this is incredibly important because every single professional cook has a callus on their index finger, and the majority have calluses on their middle fingers as well. Because we round the spine of our blade, and this is called the choil, our customers basically never have calluses. So we've rounded the spine, rounded the choil. We can check for balance. So we like our blade to balance right in front of the handle, so that's right here. The reason for that is it gives you the optimal balance between power and dexterity. More weight in the blade gives you a lot more power, more weight in the handle gives you more dexterity. Okay, cool, so we're gonna do a quick chip test. So I do this a couple different ways. I run my fingernail through the blade. That tells me right away if there's any chippiness. We also do the magazine cut test, which I already showed you. And then I'm gonna do a grind check. So I'm inspecting that the grind is even. I'm also inspecting that there's no chips. This is another way to check for chipping. And then I'm gonna check for straightness. Perfect. Great. So this is a great blade. I did this with yours. To be totally honest with you, your blade was a lot nicer than this one because it's already got a little bit beat up by somebody who wasn't super careful with it. But nevertheless, this is still in superb condition. We're going to donate this knife at some point. But yeah, so that's our 8 steps to knife care. That's the quality control inspection that I did for your blade. And your knife should be with you in just a couple days. So thanks so much and have a great day.